Did you add some? You said you added some images.
And I made the chart shorter to live with
Okay.
the main information.
Alright, so Facebook increases. So how many Facebook groups did you analyze?
Two. From two different teachers.
You might think this is like redundant because you already mentioned it earlier, but it's okay to kind of repeat just to remind the reader that, okay, you had two different groups. And according to chart 1, teacher 1.
I didn't know if I should
one.
name them.
I think since there's only 2 teachers, maybe pseudonyms would be better. Mary and whatever, whatever name you want to, just to kind of personalize it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
Created 22 posts. Students created 3 posts. Okay. You might call these initial posts, like initial post. A total of 84 responses from students to posts, to teacher posts or student posts?
Both.
Both, okay. Maybe say from both, yeah.
Okay.
It has to be, I see detalles, I see. Think of like you're reading this the first time and you don't know anything. That's the hardest part, is saying, okay, so 84 responses to student teacher posts from students to and the teacher responded 2 times to student posts?
Because he created it. And I made charts like that, but I also leave the other charts in the appendix because you can see there the time each student responded. Here is just like a general.
Okay. So teacher 1 created teacher 1 created posts.
There's an average.
Created and responded to posts. Teacher responded to posts, students and boards responded. Okay. And teacher student.
Like interaction. The student responded, but they also like asked another question.
Okay, so there was like an exchange.
Yeah.
So like the teacher and then the student replied. I see.
Yes.
Or what do you call that? Transaction.
Well, I have it in my notes. It's like a like a question, like a follow-up. Yeah. No.
Response.
Yes, like a response.
So we have like initiation, response, and then follow-up. So what is this? Is it initiation, response, follow-up, or is it initiation, response?
I didn't mention that.
Or
there were 40 times in which it happened like that.
14?
40.
Or 40? 14?
40.
But is it like a teacher initiation, then the student responded? I say.
it depends. Sometimes it happens like more than just a response.
Okay, so I guess I'm not really sure what this means. 14 interactions. Is there a better way that we can articulate this?
I don't know how to, and I didn't have like a lot of words to mention. Like in this time, the teacher responded, and this time.
Okay. In your literature review, did you talk about transactions and exchanges?
No, just like communication.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to like explain about it.
Okay, so I think in this one I understand, this one I understand.
Mm-hmm.
This one I'm not sure about. And the 0.66.
Oh, it's like a medium, an average.
All right. So, did you do this analysis where you looked at how many transactions took place and how many exchanges took place?
I don't have my notes here.
Okay.
But
I think if you can do this and say, okay, and here you can say interaction, teacher-student interactions as a label. And then here you have X amount of transactions, X amount of exchanges.
Exchanges is just when you ask and respond, right?
It would be, yeah, like, it would be like an initiation, follow-up, so we have initiation. So maybe the teacher posted something, okay? Then the student response. Let's see, initiation, response. Now the response might be a student reply. And then a follow-up. Now follow-up could be two types. It could be from the teacher or the student. Or the student.
Yes, and I have those notes because I was like.
Okay. So I would look at all the interactions in terms of either being transactions, because maybe there was just an initiation response.
That is a transaction.
That's a transaction.
A
transaction is just an initiation and response, nothing else.
So I need to count how many times it happened and then like
I
divide
would,
it?
yeah, just to make this
More like,
column a little bit clearer, and you can add it right here, and you can see now. I'm trying to see how many students. You could say you might count how many students participated in the transactions, how many students participated in the exchanges.
Like easier to understand.
Yeah, and then so it's clear. Now, at some point, you need to describe what this is. Now, maybe you don't have to do it in the theory, but briefly in the results. Yeah. Talk about, so you can say transaction, just briefly define it. A transaction is an initiation or initial response, post. You could put this like this: initial post and or reply, because people kind of understand reply, like reply to the post.
And should I mention this before the chart?
Yeah. Say, for the purpose of the study, or you can just say the first time that you mention this, define it. Just say, there's so many transactions. A transaction is X.
Okay. And there were many.
So many exchanges, and exchange is this. Yeah. And don't include these as a transaction. Don't count this as a transaction in your exchanges. If there's an exchange, it's an exchange. And this won't be, don't include this like in the transaction. So everything should be either transaction or exchange, one of the two, unless no one replies. Then you can classify that as something else, just a post only, nobody replies. Now, I don't know in your case if there were like a lot of replies, but you might have to also look at initiations that are in this. Because remember that somebody said, oh yeah, but well, how does this happen? Well then, oh yeah, that's a follow-up. But then they ask another question, that's initiation, ¿verdad? Entonces puede ser así como parte de todo eso. and that it could be part of one post. Okay.
Yes, I'll do that.
All right. So yes, I'm just gonna put a note here. Um, and I would put the titles of the chart.
On top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like up here or something. And here, well, at least when you get to Word, you can group these to keep them together. So if you start moving text around, they kind of move. Okay, so when moving into Teacher Center. Okay, looks like your text got a little funny here. Your standard. I think you use the same format as this. So here, you're presenting results.
And then what the teacher...
Now, are you discussing yet?
After the...
So you have 2 paragraphs of evidence? I would try... Remember those 2 options that we talked about? Did we talk about the options? Or...
Maybe.
Okay. What I'm recommending everyone is to follow these 2 options, where you have one option when you present your results in discussion. Is you still want to form good paragraphs, and the first paragraph will be the topic sentence. And we're still going to follow the meal plan, but it's going to look a little bit different than the meal plan in the literature review. So this first paragraph, you might start off with the topic sentence, that is the main idea. And then you talk about evidence, so on, with the linking sentence at the end, much like what you have here. This is good. All right, it's all evidence. There's no discussion. Then the next paragraph, again, you begin with the topic